But I hate only having one screen.
I know. You feel handicapped.
I know. I'm limited.
One arm tied behind your
There
back.
we go. There you are. There I am. And it's 12 o'clock, so we should probably get started here. All right. I think it's going. This is a weird and awkward little experience because this is the first time that Michelle and I have actually been in the same place at the same time doing the QB Power Hour. So if you can hear us, please let us know because we're very limited on our screen real estate. We are tucked away in a little corner outside of the Scaling New Heights exhibition hall. So hopefully the noise isn't, if there's background noise or anything like that. Can you hear us both? Because we're not mic'd up for sound for Michelle, but
Yay.
As we all know,
I have
Michelle,
a big mouth. You
I
can
didn't
say
say
it, Dan.
I was going to say your voice carries.
I have an outdoor voice.
So we're here at Scaling New Heights, and we wanted to share this experience of what we've done so far. We're in day 3. It's a 4-day conference, and I wanted to talk a little bit to Michelle, and we may have a surprise guest just rolling in because they do have a session that they're doing, and it ends at 12. So they may be rolling around. So we have a separate chair that we'll squeeze in, get comfy. But how long have you been coming to Scaling New Heights?
Well, Scaling New Heights has been going on for 14 years,
Okay.
and I've only missed 2 of them.
Wow.
1 year I had a surgery, so I couldn't come, and another year I had COVID. So, but it's been going on for 14 years now,
Wow.
and it's really one of the really good conferences. This and QuickBooks Connect.
What do you like about this one? How it separates over other, accounting conferences?
They're all really, really good. And it's kind of like a family reunion because everybody gets to know each other. And so it's great to see each other, but they're also really welcoming to new people. Everybody's willing to meet each other and network and get to know each other and hang out. And, I love the camaraderie.
Yeah. You really get to learn and get to see people. It's, like you said, it's almost like a family reunion. How are the kids? What's all happening? And for me, coming to these kind of conferences is really a big turning point for my journey, through all this, because everything that I can attribute to some kind of success to has come from a conference, whether that be QuickBooks Connect or Scaling New Heights, and I'm just kind of blending them together because they are the two major conferences that I like to go to. I'm sure there are others that would be helpful, but in my for what I want to do, I think those 2 are it. And for me, I think Scaling New Heights, as it used to be, as Joe was saying this time, that he was it was always that he had that little asterisk, of it's always QuickBooks focused. And now this year he's really opened it up to other accounting packages and other accounting software. So it's now not a playground, but it's an open marketplace, for other things that's not just so QuickBooks focused. And I think he'll grow by being able to do that. And you'll get to learn, experience new and other platforms. Like if you're a QuickBooks Pro Advisor and now you form a relationship with somebody who's in Sage, now you might have an opportunity for passing referrals and things of that nature. So that sort of thing can happen.
Well, and I'm really impressed with all the new apps that we have in there.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's more and more and all the new things that they can do.
Yeah.
Which one was it that gave us the cookie?
Digits.
Digits?
Yeah, there was a cookie in your room when you got back to the hotel, or the hotel room. They had a main stage presentation, But then back in your room, there was a cookie with a QR code on it. Of course, it was pretty good marketing.
Right. So I took a bite, and then I realized, oh, that's a QR code.
So you ate the URL.
No, I did scan it before I took another bite. So I did scan it and go to the website and stuff. And I want to go in there and check it out because it's got AI and stuff, and it really looks interesting as to one that I wanted to go check out. So it's fun to see the latest technology and the new offerings that all these apps have out there.
Gotcha. Yeah, somebody just said we forgot to turn on the live transcript, so that should be remedied. Sorry about this, because we don't have as much, because when we do this not in the same vicinity, I can have more screens and more real estate and we can monitor the chat, the QA, and a little bit more. So this is going to be a little awkward QB Power Hour, and it may not even be an hour. So you may get some extra time back into your day. Maybe it's a QB Power half hour today. All right. Now you teach a lot.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that is your thing.
I'm
right?
doing 5 sessions this year. Yeah. And one of the ones that I did the other day was on cleanup and year end. And so there was over 100 people in the room. And what was really interesting to me, we still get a good mix. I usually try to feel, where they're at with QuickBooks. Mm-hmm. So I'll ask, are you just getting started, pretty familiar with QuickBooks, or are you kind of advanced? Mm-hmm. And it's about a third.
Wow.
So we still get advanced people, but we still have people that are brand new. And it's great because then, you get some of the newer questions, but you also get the advanced people sharing some of their experiences with, things that they've seen or learned and things like that. So
that's what I really love about, facilitating or teaching myself is when the room teaches the room.
Yes,
right? You really just, you're allowing people to help each other.
Yeah.
And you're really facilitating that. And if that can happen, it's really something special,
yes.
Because maybe they wouldn't be very comfortable taking your space,
right.
up on stage. But, when you
right.
when you can teach other people, or when other people can teach other people, that's really rewarding,
right.
as a facilitator or presenter.
Right. Yeah. Because we were talking about reviewing the reports at year end for
Mm-hmm.
things that, maybe mistakes you have to go in and clean up. And I had asked, what are some of the other things that you all look for?
Mm-hmm.
And, there's several people. I had to actually cut it off. I'm like, you guys are great, but we got to move on
right.
Because they were sharing so much. So
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
And that speaks to what this community actually does for itself.
Exactly.
is because I heard this word cooperation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like where you do the same thing that somebody else does, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in direct competition with them, but you can cooperate with them in a way that it's a collaborative effort.
Yes.
Lost Hasselbrock. Okay, I think it's all picking up from my my earpiece here, so we'll stay close because I didn't want to turn on the sound here because there is some little background noise. What do you besides the breakout sessions, which is probably where you're living most of the time? What other things? How is this conference organized for those that maybe didn't attend or couldn't attend? So you have like the exhibition hall, and that's where you can go and check out the apps. You have the breakout sessions.
Yeah. So one of the great things that I think Joe has done is he's got the morning power breakfast where you have all the different apps where you can go and learn about their apps and things like that. So I think he's great about doing that. You've got your main stage session in the morning where, you've got a lot of very motivational speakers and stuff. I know I loved Inky Johnson the other day. If you all haven't heard about Inky Johnson, go Google Inky. And he's a very motivational speaker. And he has had an accident as a football player where his right arm got paralyzed and ended his football career. But he's just very motivational about how that didn't end his motivation and his passion for what he does. And it was just a really good speech. Every day he's got a wonderful speaker, every session. So there's usually 2 main sessions, main stage in the morning and in the afternoon. So you go to a few breakouts in the afternoon, back to main stage, and then another breakout.
Yeah.
And then there's always fun things going in the evenings with various social events.
I think that, and I think that's part of the challenge of this. It is very exhausting.
Yes.
To try to fit everything in for one person. What would be a good strategy for somebody to try to be, cloning themselves and be in most places? Have you picked up some tips or tricks on what's the best way to go to an accounting conference?
Well, a lot of times just to plan it out ahead of time. What is it that you want to do for your firm or your practice? Is there an area that you want to start specializing in, like let's say job costing or something, and then focus on those tracks and those booths in the exhibit hall? Try to map out a plan ahead of time, and also take lots of good notes, because you don't write things down every day. By the end of the conference, you forget it all because it's just information overload. So it's really important to kind of map things out ahead of time, turn off your emails, turn off your notifications and things so you can just really focus on the conference, meet people, exchange contact information, and take lots of good notes. Because I don't know about you, but I have CRS to begin with. Can't remember stuff, especially after 4 days of information overload. So taking lots of notes is important.
Yeah, I mean, you almost need, it's like when you go on vacation, right? And you need the vacation after the vacation.
Yes.
You have to have that debrief where you can really sit down and process really just what you experience. Because the main stage events are very empowering and motivational. Like, okay, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do something.
Yes.
And then these breakout sessions could be like, well, how do I do that?
Yeah. Right? Which ones have been your favorite so far?
Well, this experience for me has been very different because of that I've been teaching as well. So it's almost like a working session for me. and because I've been doing it, I mean, this is the first time that I've been doing it. I don't know what to expect, and I'm losing sleep, doing all these things. So I'm trying to balance, the participation and doing the thing, doing the have to do's, and the want to do's is kind of a challenge. But I want to just go through the vendor booths here and really get an understanding of what some of these things that I've never seen do.
Right.
And how we can maybe share some of those with our listeners here. So
there's almost not enough time for the exhibit hall. It's challenging, isn't it, to get through them all?
Right, and then you get distracted, especially if somebody, for me, like with ADD, there's always a new shiny ball to look at, and some of them actually blink. And
just trying to see if there's any questions there. Somebody's asking about transcripts. We have one in the Q&A.
Let's just check that out. Sorry. Yep, same thing.
Same thing.
Close. So we're not going to have polls today. We're not going to have slides or anything. I just thought we'd have this nice little conversation with Michelle and myself and trying
Did you hear Ed Pless in the main stage this morning?
I did.
Would you like to share a little about what he had to say?
He had some really good insight as to he coined a phrase called a meta consultant, where he's basically a consultant to consultants. And he had some good takeaways from books he had read about how we ask questions to our clients. And reframing those positions, those reframing those questions that we ask, and sometimes we ask them too early in the whole process. That would be, changing a lot of times, bookkeepers and accountants, we tend to focus on how things get done, but really not diving into really what's the emotion, or what's the obstacle that we're really trying to overcome.
Right.
And that was a kind of a key takeaway. And he has a triangle, and he asked people, or he asked the consultants to ask their clients, what do you want me to be for you? Like, do you want me to be a subject matter expert? Do you want me to be a collaborative partner? Or would you like me to be something else? And I can't remember off the top of my helping hands, right? So do you want me to do some of the work for you? Do you want me to teach you how to do the work? Or do you want me to just dive in there with you and help you row the boat? And, that really speaks to how you can, what your role is, so that way you're not necessarily having those conversations afterwards, like, well, I thought you would do it, right?
Right.
Because I thought I was getting a collaborative partner out of the deal, as opposed to, maybe what you do.
That's great to clarify those expectations ahead of time.
And he doesn't. Well, and for him, he doesn't even take on clients if they don't want that collaborative partner role.
Very cool.
If they're not leaning that way, so that allows him to kind of like vet.
Right.
People's like, well, if you're really looking for a subject matter expert, go to this person or something like that.
Cool. Ron Baker did some sessions the other day on pricing. He's the guru of pricing, right? On subscription-based pricing. Everything's subscription these days with Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these things are subscription-based pricing. And what he's saying is that, accountants now should go to subscription-based pricing. And it's kind of like buying insurance. And, I really wish I could have gone to his sessions. I didn't get to because I was teaching, but he had several of them. And they talk about it kind of like, it's like buying insurance. Whatever you need, it's covered. If you need budgeting, it's included. If you need cash flow forecasting, it's included. So you sell a subscription of your services, and it's a revenue model, of subscription based. So that's kind of the value pricing 2.0, if you will, is subscription based.
So how does that differ from value pricing? Because that's what I thought value pricing was. Is it not?
But value pricing was still a specific set of services.
Okay.
Whereas subscription is all of our services that you could possibly need are included.
Right.
Whether it's an audit or, cash flow forecasting, budgeting, whatever, anything you need that we offer is included.
Yeah. And
so, and again, I wish I could have taken his sessions, but I didn't get
to. They don't make the sessions available to attend. Do they make them like, can you watch them later?
Usually not. Now, some of them, Joe did tell us in that. Did you go to that instructor social the other day? I don't remember. But anyway, some of them they are recording.
They are
and
recording the sessions.
Turn them into an article or a blog post about it.
Yeah. So look out. Here we go.
How are you? Sorry. People want to talk to you after you speak.
I know.
They do. So we have a special guest that's joining the Power Hour.
Let's
go. So hopefully everybody can still hear with Dawn joining us. But for anybody who doesn't know, this is Dawn Brolin. She's rolling with Brolin.
Hi, everybody. These are my two favorite people. I love these guys.
So what were you just teaching? I was doing a town hall for Smart Ball, which was super fun. And we talked more about
it's a little ironic that they gave a flyer about paperless. But it's
ironic, isn't it? Yeah, no, it was really great. And I love to talk about just making efficiencies and workflows that work so that we're not busy, but we're productive, because they're two very different things, right? So, that's what I'm trying to help, especially new practitioners, right? As they're just starting their businesses, a lot of people are taking off on their own, and they need to get some systems in place. We're going to help them.
Very cool.
And one of the things that you do, Dawn, that I think is really awesome is the way that you have a starting lineup.
Yes.
Right. And talk a little bit about what that is. And
so I realized that I wanted to become a more productive and efficient firm because I had a passion around softball. And I volunteer coach at a local university, and we came in 5th in the country this year. It's not number 1, but number 5. I wish it was number 1.
Didn't you get a coaching award?
We did. We got coaching staff of the year for our region. So yay. I don't know if our players would agree with that, but that's okay. So I knew that I needed to get better within my firm to be able to leave the office and go to a game or go to a practice during tax season, right? When Diana asked me, I'm like, "Pat, man, come on, buddy. You know I do taxes." And she's like, "So?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? So no one's the boss of me except for me. And I'm not a great boss, apparently. I was not even giving myself any flexibility. So I decided that I would take and figure out how I could get all of my technology to work together. That was always a challenge, right? I have this solution, and then I'm entering it in QBO, and then I'm entering information in Lacert, and then I'm entering information in, SmartBall or wherever. And I'm just entering data in places when I get a new client. So no, I should be able to enter it in one place and have it all fill in. Now, Lacert doesn't technically do that, but the others do. Lisio that works with Carbon, that also works with QBO, and enter it only into Lisio, and then it fills in, and now my Carbon's ready to go and everything. And so I just made it a starting line. If this is the tech stack I use, I chose ADP for payroll. I encourage people to have one payroll provider. It doesn't matter who it is. You pick the one you love, but then be a master at that. Because regardless if we want to do payroll or not, Michelle, we remember the days we don't want to do payroll. I don't. Right. But I need to have a solution that can do it basically for me. So I just created this starting lineup around softball, and every firm does have the same players, right? Or positions on a team. It's the players you have to pick. So everyone has to have a pitcher, otherwise you are not winning that game, by the way. So if you don't have,
so I hear,
right? So if you don't have accounting software, you're not going to be an accountant. In case you didn't know. So that's a position within your firm.
So this starting lineup is for a firm, or is it for the clients that you
for the
serve?
Firm itself,
okay,
for the firm, right? And then of course clients are going to use different things. They're going to need inventory. They're going to need e-commerce. They're going to need different things, right?
Payroll. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so those may be cases. So for me, it's standardized the way I did things. Like when Kyle goes to do a tax return, he doesn't wonder where the documents are for the client. He goes right to the tax upload folder, bang, he's working. Instead of this rogue, insane documents all over, And I was dumb I'm dumb a lot of times, but in this particular example, I would let them upload to any folder. Now we could give permissions on what folders they upload to, and do that. They put stuff where they want, like what they land, where they land first, they put it. And I'm like, oh my God, where is that? I uploaded it. Well, where is it? I can't. So we learned, why don't we use the system the way it was meant to be, which is give them permission to only upload to one folder, but let them read everything else. So
nice,
really fun. It's fun stuff.
Very good.
So how's this conference been for you?
I think the vendor floor has blown me away.
Yeah,
has blown me away. Just new things.
Did you make it up to the Expensify double deck?
I did not. I will probably do that today, though. I didn't make it over yesterday. But
I need to get to the lounge on top of the Expensify booth.
So for all of you, Expensify has like the biggest booth here. They actually have 2 stories in their booth, and in the top floor is what, Michelle?
A lounge.
A lounge, and
where you can get cocktails.
Absolutely.
So you get liquored up on the floor.
These ladies told me you can get it in a to-go cup to take to the main stage.
I won't say, but I might have on Sunday brought something with me to the main stage, because it was the beginning. You gotta celebrate seeing your friends. Like and this is my favorite. To just, for me, the conference is so much. It's great education. There's so many great speakers and trainers and stuff. But to be able to see our friends that, Michelle, we've known each other. We've known each other, Dan, right? We go way back.
Yeah.
To like historic times, almost like dinosaur times of QuickBooks. Right?
We started when we were 10.
There you go.
It's been 15 years, but we started when we were 10. But no, it's so true that, to have those relationships. And so for those of you who are watching, if you've not been to a conference, which is possible before, I really encourage you to get out here and hang out with these guys who are filled with information that you never imagined was real. Number one,
and you certainly don't plan for the things that do happen. Like the way that I'm here is Michelle and I were in the same breakout session as attendees. The guy, one person had an epileptic seizure in the middle, right before it was about to go on. So we're just kind of milling about, and here we are. We bump into each other, and she's like, I need a new partner for the Power Hour. How about you? and that's just how those things just kind of evolve, and here we are.
And especially if you ever get asked to do something with Michelle, you better say yes, because you're going to learn stuff from that you never ever knew happened. So Joni and we're at Scaling New Heights in Orlando, Florida. That's where we are here today, and it's a beautiful resort. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a lazy river fan. Like I do sessions, and that's what I say. I have my agenda, and I have some sessions in the lazy river.
Oh, there you go.
That's how I justify it. Which is great.
Oh, goodness.
So what has been your key takeaway of
or one of your favorite sessions, or something you've discovered in the exhibit hall? Or?
I did. I discovered an app. There's a couple of new apps. So File is one of them that I went over and took a look at. And then the other one is, what is it? Uncat. Did you see Uncat? What it does is it takes the uncategorized transactions and QBO, desktop, and Xero, I think all three, and it pulls out that and sends the report to the client. You don't even have to do it.
Oh.
And it sends it to them, and they put in what it is, and then it comes back to you. Like, whoa.
Does it push it back in, or do you have to
I haven't found that out yet, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to get a demo.
It's like Michelle has the Ask Client report.
Yes, yes, the client report, which is long. Which I'm interested to talk to him. Like, can you do that? Because we do. That's where we put stuff. We don't know where it goes. We haven't asked the client. We send them that list, or we get on a Zoom.
Well, now you have that client request though from Books Review.
True. Yes.
So we've got that now.
Yep. And that's what I think is so fun to go into in there and see, say, familiar faces, people you've been around for a long time, but then there's these new applications where I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Michelle, why haven't you and I done an app yet? Man, why haven't we developed an app? We know what the problems are. Like, it's just so funny that we don't realize it. But man, there's just so much out there. And I think that's part of it. One of my favorite things in my session was, there's a fire hose here.
Yes.
It's a fire hose of information. You got to take it in bite-sized pieces. And I challenged my people. I said in my session, I said, listen, please don't go home, put your bag of loot on the floor and throw your notebook in the garbage and do nothing with what you were here for. And don't think you're going to change 10 things at once. Just pick one or two.
I think Joe talks about threes. You have 3 takeaways. You find 3 good apps and get three good sessions and get 3 takeaways from the main stage. And that would be a successful conference.
I think any of these conferences, it is an investment of your time because you're away from the office for several days and of money, but it is so well worth it. I just think between the information that you get and the networking and the people and the motivation,
absolutely,
I just really think it is well worth it for people that come to these things.
I mean, I've met some of my favorite people in my life, my work life, through this conference specifically, many others, but because when we see each other at other conferences as well, but it's like coming back to family. And the pandemic was really painful. We didn't get to see each other for a couple of years, and now we're like back together, and it's like the band's back together kind of thing. And we're all really doing different things. Where we were when we first met are 2 different places where we are today, and we've watched each other grow, which I think is even more exciting to see. Your friends and what they're doing, and you watch Heather and Liz doing the happy hour, and they love that. You guys are doing QB Power Hour, which everybody knows about, and should. And as a matter of fact, I have like my staff when they come on, I'm like, you have to be paying attention to the happy hour and the QB Power Hour, because those stop watching. Like, listen, I like them to watch sports too, but I'm like, during the day, go back and watch these recorded sessions and learn something while you're sitting at your desk, and let it play so that you can learn the lingo even of what we do. But I also think
and the fact that we genuinely like each other. Like I'm wearing the happy hour shirt, and as I was discussing with Michelle here, is like, why don't we have a shirt?
Right? And that's why you're like, oh, I want to do what I see what they're doing there. I want to do that and whatever. And I also love to build relationships with the vendors that I already use. Right. So I always tell, this is a secret, don't tell anybody else. But when you get the name of a person at one of your app vendors, and you get to know one person, like George at SmartBall, and I'm like, okay, George is my guy. So guess what? When I have trouble, I'm having an issue, I don't call 1-800. I call George, or I email him, or whatever I may do. You get to know them, and you get to have that relationship with them. So you run into a situation, you have someone you can call, even, whatever. But I love building those relationships. I think these vendors, they're quality people. They're really good people, and it's great to know them. And you see they're like Nick from ADP he didn't have a baby. Let's clarify that. The wife had the baby. So he's not here today, but you get to learn that he had a baby. And those kind of things, that's fun. It's life. It's be out with the people. And you guys well, you already know this, but you guys are bringing so much education to so many people. It's amazing. And you know, we as practitioners need to stay locked into stuff like this because number one, they don't charge us to listen to them. And the information that they give you is so valuable and it's free, right? So, and think about your staff, not just you. So if you're sitting in your office right now watching this or listening to this or whatever, and you've got staff that aren't, get them to be part of this network and this organization that's going to give you the information and give them what they need.
Wow. What a powerful testimonial.
Absolutely.
I was trying to see if there were any questions in there, and I don't really see any.
I can hardly wait to see that.
Linda. Linda's here. I love her. Michelle, Rich Kane, my guy. I love it. All you guys are here.
How's the weather? It's hot, and we have storms every afternoon.
Only in the afternoon.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So on the storms, everybody was trying to fly in. Usually on Saturday afternoon, there were lots and lots of delays.
Yep.
Lots of issues with people getting here, but we're all here now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a lot of people had trouble.
Yeah, fortunately, I had a straight flight, so I wasn't.
Oh, you were good.
If the flight's delayed, that's fine. I'll just get in later, but I didn't have a connection to miss.
We got here, and they're like, "Hurry up, get off the plane before the lightning starts." So we all got off, and we're like all excited, and then we had to wait like 2+ hours for our luggage.
And because they didn't want to touch the plane because the plane could have got hit by lightning.
Well, once it starts thundering, they shut down the whole ground crew. Everything shut down.
Makes sense, really.
We've been hearing stories of people were diverted to other, and they had to take buses to actually get here. So I mean, this is not just a conference; it's a quest.
It's a quest. I love that.
Some people went to Tampa and then bussed them from Tampa
here
and all kinds
which is
of
crazy.
A pilgrimage for them.
Well, that's why I came early. I was into a tax council. Amen. I loved it. It was so fun. So I was there and I was like, why am I going to fly home? I'm just going to fly to Florida. And then I'm not in a rush. I had delays. I waited for luggage. I didn't care because I had a lot of time to care.
Yeah.
And then I got to enjoy the lazy river on Saturday. Like, make it a thing.
Yeah.
Don't just like get here to get to the conference and then rush home. Like, give yourself some time to enjoy it.
A workation.
George wants to know if all the shops are open in the Marriott because scaling 2020, they were all closed.
No, they're open.
Yes, they're all open.
Everything's open.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is Florida, where
we are in Florida. Do as the Floridians do.
Yep, they are open.
Yep. And we're
thriving.
We're in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the Aramark came in after us. So before us was insurance, a bunch of insurance people, the Florida insurance people. They were nuts. And then now the Aramark people came and tried to push aside the accountants, but don't worry, the accountants went to bed the latest. Don't worry, we're not letting you down when it comes to that.
Close the bar.
Close the bar. I went to bed a little earlier, but I did the Irish goodbye. Just get out. Don't say goodbye to anybody. Just go to your room.
Oh goodness.
Well, I think we're gonna give everyone some time back in their day. Dawn, thank you so much for
having me. Thank you for being patient.
Absolutely.
I'm honored.
Fortunately, Michelle always has something nice, great to talk about. So she has the gift.
I love that. I love that.
So we vamped while you were here.
Yeah.
Before you got
I love that. I was like, all right, people wanted to talk to me. I'm like, I gotta go. Like, I have somewhere to be.
That is a challenge, to get from point A to point B at some of these conferences when you have somewhere to be and people recognize you sometimes. Like,
well, what's funny is you get your steps in, so the watch is falling, and then you sit. Then next week comes, they're like, your watch says stand up. Like, look what you did last week. What are you doing? You're sitting in the chair.
Are you okay? Did you break something?
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you.